Hello everyone, this is Monstertaming coming at you with another Kindred Fates map ranking video. Now we're moved on to Riverside. Riverside would have been the worst a while back. It used to be incredibly buggy, used to be hard for some people to play without crashing, used to be that you could glitch through the map in multiple spots, used to be very just FPS intensive and everything. It would have been that, but all of those reasons are technical. Like, they're all very technical reasons, and they've more or less been fixed. I think there's still a little tiny bit of collision issues, but it's enough that you probably won't notice it in the vast majority of your matches that you ever play. And it's just with the little slope. It's like just on one particular slope. And I haven't fallen through the map in Riverside in a very long time. So, why do I think Riverside is the second best map? What does it do so well that makes me want to say, yes, this is better than Forest, this is better than Caverns, and very close in rank to Ruins, which we'll get. I won't talk about Ruins much here, but that's going to be the next video. So, it does something that Ruins does well, and it does something that Forest does well, and it does something that Cavern, it takes away from the stuff that Caverns does badly. It has decent cover, much like Ruins. It's not extreme, and like I said, I won't talk too much about Ruins, but I will say Ruins is probably not the best map Kindred Fates could ever have. And Forest, I mean, Riverside kind of showcases that there is some elements to Riverside that you could take cover behind. I think there's not enough, but I think there is kind of like enough to give you a taste. Like, there could, I could really use more, like especially with this log right over here. There's a lot of play around that, but I feel like it could be a little bit better expanded. This rock over here is similar. Well, maybe the log, as I think about it. The log is probably alright, but this rock could use a little bit more because you can kind of easily get trapped behind it. Maybe a few rocks leading to the river so that you could move over to the forested area without getting pelted. Would be one good example of something that could be improved. But the forest area itself is great. The little log is great. They allow you very limited cover, but cover nonetheless, and allows you to do some mind games with your opponent. You can try to juke them and take cover. You can use those to buff or heal or whatever if your opponent is slacking and trying to hide behind the rock and wait for you to come to them. You can do the same with the rock. It's not quite as effective, but you can do something very similar with it. And the reason you might have noticed, I haven't said anything about this little empty patch over here. That's because I like it. It exemplifies what is good about Forest, which is to focus on skill. If you and your opponent get over here, you can have like a really knockout, drag-on brawl with your opponent where just your skill comes into play and the best player wins. But you can also avoid that. So you have to be smart. If you want to fight your opponent in that field, you have to get them into that field. You have to set it up so that they feel like going to that field is a good idea. Then you can capitalize. One really good way to do this is like hiding behind that log over there, like I said before. And for avoiding the field, you have to know that, alright, my opponent's trying to bait me right now. I need to just hang back. Maybe I can take some cover behind something and throw some ranged attacks at them or something like that, or just maybe tease them, like run in and then run back or something. It's a lot more mind games. That's what I like about this compared to Forest, is you can mind game people. And if you start losing that skill battle, if you overestimated your own skills or underestimated your opponents, you still have a chance. You can back up, you can run to the forest, you can run to the rock, and you can try to reset the fight. You can try to gain a little bit of an edge, a tactical edge against them that can help negate their raw skill factor, because of your capacity for thinking strategically can help you bridge the gap between skill. And they can also punish you if they're quick enough and have a good enough strat. then they can punish you for running. Like if they have the right kinfolk on their team, maybe an in-bear can, lead you on with an explosion that you might not see coming if you just turn around and run immediately. Your shovelet could throw down a quicksand and capture them, and then you can start comboing them or something like that, because when they're running, they're much more vulnerable. Avian's another good example, is that you could hit them with like a thunderclap or something like that, even potentially, while they run away. There's so much I could praise about Riverside, and for the aesthetic, which is completely and utterly subjective to what your preference is, I think Riverside looks beautiful as well. There's just so many things to praise about it. And the only real complaint I would have is maybe add a little tiny bit more cover from the rock formation over there going towards the river to help you move from one side to the other, but leave this open space over here. The river itself is a nice little open space with little rocks in it that basically only Shovelet and Kadoki can take cover behind, and then this massive open space over here, which is basically like a miniature version of forest. And I think all that is really good design. And overall, Riverside encapsulates a lot that Kindred Fates has to offer, but I still think Ruins is better, and we'll go into why in the next video. But thank you guys for watching. This has been Monstertaming signing off. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye, God bless, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.